Hi. So today's video is a review of Atomic Blonde, a movie that came out on Thursday. It is a movie featuring a bisexual action hero, and more about that later. But first, today's video is brought to you by my latest MMF bisexual romance. I will tell you how you can get this story plus 13 other stories for only 99 cents. That's the end of the video. And until then, if you haven't yet, please vote for your favorite bisexual characters in the Bisexual Representation Awards. This is your way of letting Hollywood know that you're watching, you care, and that they should create more bisexual characters on television. The link to that's in the description below. Now, let's talk about Atomic Blonde. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into three parts. First, I'm going to give you kind of a synopsis of what the story is. Then I'm going to talk about the bisexuality in the story. And then I'm going to talk about whether or not I think you should watch the movie. So first, Atomic Blonde. As I said, Atomic Blonde came out on Thursday. It's a story based on source material, a graphic novel. And it is, the set piece is the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. So, and honestly, the story has nothing to do with the fall of the Berlin Wall, but I think what they do is they use the chaos surrounding that time to kind of set the mood for this story, because this is kind of a chaotic story. Purposefully done. So the premise is very early on in the story, you see that an MI6 agent is killed. A watch is stolen from him. And it's stolen by a Russian agent. And on this watch has a list of every MI6 agent around the world, as well as CIA agents. So this is a story you've seen before, but it's done in a different way. So what happens is Charlize Theron plays an MI6 agent who gets sent to East Germany under the guise of picking up the body, the dead MI6 agent's body. But what she's really going to do is she's going to look for this list and retrieve it and bring it back. Her contact in East Germany is an agent played by the actor James McAvoy. And throughout the entire movie, you really are never sure about the motivation of James McAvoy's character, and you're kind of not 100% completely sure about anyone's motivation throughout the movie. This is not, many people refer to compare it to John Wick. This is not a movie like John Wick. John Wick is a movie where basically someone kills this dude's dog and wrecks his car, and because of that, John Wick decides to murder everybody in sight. Very simple premise for a movie. This movie is a espionage spy thriller based in 1989 East Germany. So that's basically the premise of the movie. So the bisexuality, the fun part. Okay, so how do we know that Charlize Theron plays a bisexual character in this movie? Really, the only way we know is that the actress Charlize Theron talked about how proud she was and how glad she was to play a bisexual character. That's really the only way we know that this character is bisexual. Not saying that otherwise we would assume this character is straight. We absolutely wouldn't. We would actually assume that this character is a lesbian, because the one relationship that is clearly shown in this movie is one between Charlize Theron's character and another woman. And I will say this, when you watch James Bond movies, you get a real sense that James Bond is the man because he's clearly alpha in this situation. He's almost, using these women for sex, and he's always in control and all that stuff. And that's kind of why we like James Bond. Whereas in a lot of movies, when two women are together, it very much feels like, this is a fake situation where the director has said to these two women, okay, now I want you all to make out, and, I want you to do this, I want you to have sex and all this. It's very direct, and you kind of feel like it feels like kind of forced sort of thing. The wonderful thing about the sex in this movie is that you watch this and you get the sense that Charlize Theron's character is always in complete control, even though it's like, it's real sex between two women. There's something about it the way that she moves, the way that she holds her, like you get the sense that Charlize Theron's character is in complete control, and she is having fun because she wants to have fun. Like it's not some sort of, she just feels so drawn to this character that she has, like she's lost in her emotions, so she has to have, have sex and all that stuff. No, this is a James Bond sort of thing, one thing taking from a female perspective. And it is very hot and very cool. And another interesting thing they did about this, Charlize Theron's character is cold. Like she's a killer. She clearly has created distance between herself and the rest of the world. And the character is really well played. You can tell that Charlize Theron is an Academy Award-winning actor. She is an Academy Award-winning actor who is taking this action movie very seriously. And, I remember there are a couple of scenes in the movie where she just like moves her hand, or she just like has this look on her face where I go, that's the sign of a excellent, a well-skilled actor. Like just little things that a normal actor wouldn't think of. So she does an excellent performance in this. But for the vast majority of the movie, she's just kind of this cold killer sort of character. And what they decided to do in this movie is the one time she kind of lets down her guard is when she's laying naked with her female lover. And the female lover even mentions that, saying that, I can tell when you're telling the truth because your eyes look different. And she says, well, then I have to stop doing that because it's going to get me killed otherwise. But it happens only when she is with this woman, showing that this isn't just her having sex, like this is her being able to open up and be fully who she is. Now, granted, one can argue that she was also in a relationship with the MI6 agent who was killed, whose body she's going to go and pick up. Because early in the movie, they have like flashbacks, like this picture of the two of them together that she decides to burn. And she has like a slight flashback of this character. And it's done in such a way that you kind of get the impression that there was something going on between those two. But it's not explicitly said. And I'd like to say that I'm almost kind of liking this method better. As a storyteller, I can tell you that, the reason why there are more bisexual characters on television, the 22 lead characters and 23 supporting characters on television last year, is because you have time to develop it and to show it without being a major feature of this show. So a TV show has basically 26 episodes in America. So that's 26 hours if it's an hour-long show, or 26 30-minute episodes. So you have a lot of time to like show these things. In a movie, you have 2 hours, and if you want to show a bisexual character, you kind of have to show the bisexual character with a guy, and then show the bisexual character with a woman, and it takes up screen time, and it becomes a whole thing. Like you can't just slip that in there. It's there. You got to see it. It kind of distracts from the main story. So in this story where Charlize Theron, the actress, at the end just says, look, I'm playing a bisexual character, that allows us to watch the movie in a different way and then see things in the movie that we wouldn't have seen otherwise. And I kind of like this method better because, well, it allows for more bisexuals to be included in movies. So that is my feeling on the bisexuality in the movie. I hope that was helpful. Excuse me. Getting over a cold. I hope that was helpful. And now, whether or not you should see this movie. So there's a lot of positive things I can tell you about this movie. And there's a few negative things. First of all, Charlize Theron is a physical specimen in this movie. And I will say this, and I know how this is going to sound. It's going to sound harsh, but this is my opinion. Angelina Jolie, as great as an actress she is not an action hero. She is not an action movie actress. And it's kind of ridiculous when they used to put her in action roles, because she's all skin and bones. She's physically not able to beat up anybody. She's boob heavy. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous when you put an actress like Angelina Jolie, as good as an actress she is, it's ridiculous when you put her in an action movie. We have to suspend so much disbelief in order to accept her in that role. Scarlett Johansson, better. Certainly better. But let's be real. Everything is just a little slower when she's fighting. Like, you see these guys fighting and the movements are just, it's crisper. It's she's better than Angelina Jolie, but when you compare her to men who might play the same role, it does not compare. Atomic Blonde is Charlize Theron. There is no questioning whether or not Charlize Theron can play this sort of action role. Like, in the beginning of the movie, it opens up with her naked. Her body, she is taut and built, and we all know she's a 6 foot tall woman. There is no question that she can do the things that she did in this movie. First of all, her actions when she's fighting, they're as quick as a dude's. Like, they're not speeding up the camera. She is just punching that fast. She is like moving left and right that fast. And they're smart with this movie. They didn't go, okay, well, this character could just beat up anybody because she's the hero of the movie. They don't do it like that. That's not the way it is. In this movie, she's fighting nothing but thugs. Like, these people are trained killers. These people beat people up for a living or kill people for a living. As built as Charlize Theron is, she's still a woman. So if you put a woman in her top physical form and put a guy in a top physical form, the guy is just going to be stronger. That's just biology. So this movie was smart enough to go, look, we're not thinking that Charlize Theron is going to overpower anybody. The way that she beats up these people, and there's a lot of them, is just tenacity. Like, she just keeps going and going and going, and she's like fast and she's quick and she's doing everything. You know, she's a fighter. You believe her as a fighter. But more than anything else, what you get is that she is just tenacious and just relentless. And she is just, she will be the subject of many a woman's fantasy. Like, she is impressive in this movie. She kicks some serious ass in this movie. So that was just fun to watch. On another note, James McAvoy was also extremely fun to watch. Like, they play polar opposites. As dynamic and charismatic as James McAvoy was in this movie was just how stoic and cold that Charlize Theron was in this movie.
God, I think I love you.
That's too bad.
And it works very well. So he's fun to watch. She's just electric, and she is just like, I loved her in this movie. I really did. And you know what? I am so glad that they had someone older play this role, because if you put a 20-year-old in this movie, you have the Angelina Jolie effect again, where it's just like, okay, I'm just going to suspend disbelief and she's doing these things, and okay, fine. But there would be a difference. And the same thing with a 30-year-old. If there was like a 30-year-old person in this movie, you kind of have to go, okay, well, now I'm suspending disbelief and I'm just accepting this woman's doing this thing. But they don't. Charlize Theron is, I think she was probably 40 when she was shooting this. And I'm so happy that they had an older person play this, like 40 older, had a person over the age of 40 play this character, because she has such gravitas. Like, she's grounded in her character. She seems like grounded who she is as a human being, which is so much harder for a younger person to play. Like, you wonder, what are the roles for aging actresses, like actresses over 40? And believe it or not, this is the perfect role for an actress over 40 who is willing to turn her body into that and put in the work that she does. Like, I'm so happy that they did not have a younger person play this, and it's a perfect role for an older actress who is willing to just put in the time and just transform herself into this sort of character. So, yes, I would recommend this movie for multiple reasons. First of all, the bisexuality. I think all bisexuals see movies with bisexuals in it. Taking that aside, it's a somewhat fun movie where the editing is similar to, if you're familiar with a movie called S.I.T.A.H, a British movie called S.I.T.A.H. It's similar to that, so it's fun in that way. I did laugh a couple of times in the movie. The fight sequences are really, really, really impressive. There's one in particular where there's a fight in a stairway where I think the stunt coordinator said in the interview afterwards that it was one take, so it's like 15 to 20 minutes of one fight scene, and there is no question this is Charlize Theron. Like, there's lots of close-ups where she falls downstairs and then, you know, just automatically sits up, and then it is a close-up, and it's Charlize Theron who just fell down the stairs. And the fight scene just goes on and on. It's nothing I've ever seen before. And by the end of the scene, I was kind of chuckling. People in the audience were kind of chuckling, not because it's ridiculous, though it was kind of ridiculous. Like, it's just, but it wasn't ridiculous because it was poorly done. It was ridiculous because these people are just so, it's just, they just keep going on and on with the fighting. Like, at the end of the movie, at the end of the fight scene, they're getting tired. They're getting tired, yet they're still going after each other. I've never seen a fight scene like that ever. That's almost worth seeing the movie. The music in the movie is almost its own character, but it's also like, you know, I love the 80s soundtrack basically just slapped onto this. And they do some interesting things. So really you have to say that the music is its own character. And it's just a great reminiscence of what the great music was in the 80s. Some might say that it's chaotic, the movie's chaotic in a bad way, because by the end of the movie, you're still not quite sure what the motivation was behind certain characters. And I left the theater thinking, okay, so what just happened? But that's kind of a spy movie. It's not a perfect spy movie. However, if you take all the elements together, the cool bisexuality, the kick-ass performance by Charlize Theron, the fun performance by James McAvoy, the fun editing, the cool music, you put all that stuff together, and this makes this movie something that I think you should see in the theaters. So I hope you go check that out. That was my review. Now, if you would like to support the channel, you can do that by going to Amazon and checking out the digital version of my latest MMF bisexual romances. With Beauty and Two Beasts, you will get 13 other bonus stories, which total 1,500 pages in total of, you know, bisexual romance, which I am absolutely positive you'll enjoy. Again, it's just 99 cents. If you're a Kindle Unlimited user, you can get that book for free. So check that out. If you haven't yet voted for Bisexual Representation Awards, please go ahead and do that. The time is coming closely to an end. Also, you can check out my t-shirts on Amazon. I have 25 different designs you can check out there. And they are only for $16.95 for a limited time, and they are going away soon. And also, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I do many videos on bisexual topic. I don't do them on a regular basis, but I do them frequently, and now more frequently now that all of my trips to the Pride festivals are over. I can now start doing them more regularly. But if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, please do. And don't forget to click on the bell, and that will let YouTube know that you'd like to know when a new video comes out. Until next video, stay cooler, my bisexual friend. Stay cooler. And check out Beauty and Two Beasts. I promise it will be a very sexy and fun read. Bye.